Hi everybody, and welcome to my Unruly Housewife channel. Recently I did a video about Christy Friesen's Swilligant, which is this unusual finish, and I demonstrated it, the look of it on this bath bomb mould bowl. It's got like a little lid, not painted on the inside, still not finished. And people said, wow, that I've never seen a bath bomb used in that way, bath bomb mould. So today I'm going to show you how I made the shape of that dish. I'm going to do it slightly differently. I'm not doing it Swilligant, but I'll show you how it was formed. Here's my bath bomb mould, little aluminium dishes, perfect for the oven. I'm using Fimo Professional black, and I've rolled it out to a thickness of number 2 on my pasta machine. 0 is the thickest setting, so you can imagine 2 is, you know, sturdy but not too thick, and it looks like that. So I'm going to start out. Now these have a flat area on them, which is quite good for me because I'm very bad at finding the middle of things. I used a cutter that was obviously bigger than the size of my mould because I need to drape the clay around it. So I'm pushing in the middle just to mark out where that little flat area is, and that will help me when I come to put a foot on my bowl and things like that. So I'm stroking this down, working from the middle outwards, trying to make sure that I don't get any bubbles. I'm just pressing down. This clay is pretty nice and flexible, so that's good. And as I say, that finger caught helping me to prevent fingerprints, especially as I'm now pinching against the side there, pinching against this ridge. Basically the lid of the bowl, which sits in, is cut on the inside of that edge, and the lid, which has to be bigger, I beg your pardon, the bottom half, which has to be bigger, is cut on the outside. But anyway, I'll show you as we come to do it. Pinching around there. It's pretty clear to me where that edge is now. Bit of an air bubble there, watch out for those. Squeeze that down. And now I'm going to cut it. Now this is without a doubt the most difficult part of the process and one I get wrong on a frequent basis, so keep your fingers crossed. I've got quite a stiff blade. I'm going to go as close to that as I can. Just work my way along, sort of feel my way along. It's not too bad as well. And I tend to try and do it section by section because it helps me to see where I am up to. So sticky, this clay. It's quite warm today. We'll run it round. I don't really like to drag the clay, but I'm trying to hurry up for you. So now we've got this kind of left, and I find this helps, this little tool, sometimes. Now I'm just going to press that back down and we'll have a look, see how well we've done. As you can see, like, we've still got a ways to go. But I would rather adjust this, do it a little bit too long and adjust it, than cut it too short and have to start again. Now one quick hint, if your clay is quite sticky and you're having trouble separating it, you could just bake this the way it is, because once you've established that line when you've cut round with your knife, once it's baked, this is probably going to drop off anyway, this bit here. So don't force it too much because you don't want to push it back into where you didn't want it, if that makes any sense. Rather just cut it round, sort it out later. Alright, so that's the bottom half of our bowl, and as I say, once this is baked, these extra bits should come off. Look at that later, and we'll also sand it with a bit of wet and dry. I will sand it with a bit of wet and dry sandpaper to flatten that edge off. So I think that's okay. And now we want to make the other half. Now this half is has a different look. Again, I want to put this in the middle. Stroke this down over the bowl, trying to drive out all the air. I'm British, so I'm going to have a cup of tea. Dehydrating. It's very, very hot today. It's why the clay is so sticky. Hot but not bright. Brilliant. I could have done with some brightness to like the video, but no. Again, I want to pinch this into that edge. I'm going to do it a bit more neatly because this is on the outside now. This is going to show. The other bit we trimmed off, remember. So I want to get the edge because it's going to be the sort of lip that the lid sits in. I want it to be quite neat because it's going to be apparent to everyone. And I'm going to bring this up right over the edge. Make sure I've got a little lip inside. I know I'm repeating myself, but this is important. And now I'm going to cut around the top. Now I want to keep this as flat as possible. I'm going to use this blade and just try push inward slightly. If you can see how I'm doing that. Cutting against the metal. Neaten up the shape of it. Give it a flatten. Just try to make that rounded a little bit. This bowl's not going to look perfect, but it should look cute. Sometimes you can smooth it better with your actual fingers than with the finger cut. Okay, I'm going to go around this now with some of my Perfect Pearls copper. I would advise you to wear a mask if you're going to use Perfect Pearls. I can't do that because I'm talking. But I'm going to use this copper on some other parts of my bowl, and I thought it would be nice to have it on this edge. Now, it has to go on before it's baked. So whereas on the rest I can just add it after. Add it as I put the embellishments on. This bit's got to be done in advance. Okay, so I've got my Perfect Pearls on that edge. It's made a little bit of a mess. I'll just go through and wipe it off, and of course I can sand it off a little when the bowl's finished, or when the bowl is this part is baked. But I wanted it to sort of fade into the edge, so it's not it's not precise. These two can now go into the oven and bake. I'm going to bake them for about 15 minutes at the normal temperature for baking Fimo, and when I come back I will show you how to embellish the rest of your bowl. I am back from the oven, and as you can see I used an oven thermometer when I was baking my little pieces. I'll put that out of the way. Don't forget to use your oven thermometer. And I also stood them on a piece of paper to stop the bottoms going shiny. Although to be honest, it didn't matter because I've sanded them. So here is the first one. It came away really nicely, and that edge where I made the deep groove cut all the way around, any other bits flaked off, and I sanded it and it came out really nicely. Now you might want to do a bit more work on the inside and stuff, but that's fine for me for today. So let's see if that fits with the other piece. Here's the other piece. This Perfect Pearls didn't go terribly bright, but that's okay because once I varnish it, it'll probably pop a lot more. Only part cooking it was quite a good idea because any crumbly pieces that get stuck into these little grooves are easy to break out, which is good because we won't be pushing them on there so hard for the full bake. And as you can see, I've made a little foot and put it on there. Now I'm cheating slightly, but I was practicing to show you and it came out so well I couldn't bring myself to tear it off again. So I'll show you what I did. Again, this is through at number 2 on the pasta machine. I've got a large round cutter, a small round cutter, and if you haven't got this size, that's fine. You can find other things, pen middles, or I don't know. You could even make a little snake. It's just that I've got these. So I use them. And all I did was take those. We'll use this just for practice. That nice little flat bit in the middle where I kind of pushed it down, always handy, because now I can centre it, and that's my terrible weakness. So I put this on here, see where that is, centre this around it. Now I would stick that on with liquid clay. Just get that kind of where it goes, that's good. Take a bit of time when you do yours. And then once you think you've got it in reasonable position, you can just flatten it off a bit. Anyway, we don't want that on there, there's the lid. So there's my base, and now we want to decorate. Now we've got, this is how I decorated the base with these points going down. And the top I decorated with random patterns sort of on triangles and this little thing here. Now I'm not going to do random patterns today. All my triangles are going to have that pattern on them. That's that one, just for simplicity. And but we'll start with this. So, oh, and I should mention I had a bit of an air bubble situation in this one, which made it bulge a bit at the side. It's unfortunate. I'm going to live with it, but when you do yours, you can take more time to get it right. Apologies if everything moved then. I'm afraid a bit of a tripod fail. Alright, so we're going to make these spikes 2 centimeters long because I don't want them to come right down to the bottom. These don't. So here we go. I'm going to measure this out. I'm just going to make a strip that is 2 centimeters wide. Then we won't have to keep measuring each spike. Not going to be very precise. I just want to make them look cute. And if you look at that, there's going to have to be 12 because 2, 4, 6, 8, because I've arranged them around like a clock face. That was the easiest way in my head to position them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'll do a couple more for luck. Alright, just loosen those off. A little bit of liquid clay ready to apply them. and I used a very small ball tool, something like that, I think, probably. Whoops. There's clay shot everywhere. Okay, this end is probably the one. So take my clay, I'm going to apply it to the actual spike rather than the dish. Just very thinly, just because this is part baked and this is raw. It will help it to bond when I bake it. And then just offer that up to there. I've got quite a wide base there, so I don't know. Maybe we won't get 12 round there. Okay, so put that there and then use this. And I just made some dots down there just to give it a bit of interest. Already going off centre. That one's very imprecise, but you can always come back and do them again if you don't like them. That's the beauty of this, we just get to work as we go along. Don't have to worry. And I will do the other one on the opposite side. You see this is quite a bit smaller. We're wild, we don't care. And I'm now going to do that all the way around. This is actually quite big, this one. I'm having second thoughts. Let's carry on. If I don't like one of them, I'll just dig it back off. Because this is baked, we can get things off to our heart's content, can't we? We can take them off if we don't like them. Tuck that in with that top bit. Because this is a little bit thicker, it helps. We can tuck them into it. Not really counting these dots, I'm just putting them on. And kind of push those corners up into the top, it helps. Yeah, this one is too big, isn't it? I'm going to put a smaller one there. So you get the idea. I'm going to go around and do these until I have like a clock's worth. See you in a moment. Okay, I have got all these on now and there's slightly less than 12 on there. So it's time to add perfect copper. Of course, when you do your bowl, you can decorate it any way you like, and you might want to do the whole thing with copper, or you might want to just paint it, or do what I did and use Swelligan. There's any amount of things you can do to decorate your bowl once it's made. I think this is going to be a tiny bit fiddly, but it'll probably be worth it. I really like perfect pearls. I think they're great. They adhere really well to the clay, and if you get any little spills you can just clean them off before you put it in the oven. Because the rest of it's pre-baked, it should be easy to wash off, if that's what you want to do. I'm still going for a slightly ancient looking vibe with this because I really like it. So that's how you do that really. You just make the foot, quite simple, isn't it? And then make the spikes and dot them down. Just go in with a baby wipe and take off some of the excess from the middle. Oh, I think this looks nice. There you go. So I'll tidy that up before I bake it, but I think it looks really pretty. And if you want to be more precise with your positioning, have at it, you know, because every bit of effort you put into it is going to pay off, I think. So that's how you do the bottom. And now we come to the lid. If you just break off some clay, roll it into a ball, pinch it, that's about right actually, put it on top of there. Now that's pretty much the right amount of clay for the knob, I think. You see that? It's not bad, is it? So that's probably the amount to work with. Might be a little bit too much, but we'll see. So that's a quick way of deciding, because obviously if it's massive, when you roll it out, it's going to roll back up and be massive. So here we have it. I'm keeping it quite stubby. Here on it. I have 6 cats, if you don't know already. Something that's always a pain in the studio. So there you go. A pain in the studio, it's a polite way of putting it, isn't it? And then I roll this up, and you want to just watch it lengthwise so that you know you're not rolling off to one side. Roll that up. There. This will wipe. In the summer it's absolutely a nightmare with 6 cats. It's just a constant battle against what I think Americans call shedding. We call molting. So there you go, that's your one for the knob. Put that on there. And now I've got to sort of flatten it, and in fact what I might do is just cut the bottom off so that it's not too rounded. I'll just push that on there like that. I think that will work as the knob. Yeah, it looks like the other one, so that's good. And I'm going to dust that with Perfect Pearls. But we're also going to do these little triangles. I'm just putting this through on number 3. And to make my triangles, I want to use this patterned stuff here. I'll give it a light spritz, but I'm not too bothered about it. It will come off. And I'm going to lay that down there. Just stick some paper over it a bit and give it a rub. I'm going to use this. I want to get a really nice deep pattern. See if that worked. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, now what I need to do is just loosen this up, and actually I could have done it on some paper to stop it sticking, thinking about it. Okay, there it is. And now I'm going to use this square cutter to cut out some areas for my triangles. It doesn't even matter if I use bits like that, as long as they're big enough. And like the spikes, I can use, you know, it's up to me how many triangles I use, and I might even trim them down a tiny bit if they're too big. Now when I did this one, I was very random. I think you can see they're not particularly straight. They're just fun. So I'm probably going to do a very similar thing here. I'm just going around, kind of thinking, is that in line a bit at the bottom? Is this creating movement in the top? I'm sort of laying them on without any liquid clay just to look at them. So I've laid them around it. I think that's going to be quite a good position for them. That's quite pretty. Again, not very precise. So I'm going to, I'm maybe going to do that one again because there's not much texture on it. Let's see what else I've got. That'll do. So I will put these on, just literally have a little practice, move them about, see how you feel. You might want to put hearts or put some flowers on there or any kinds of things. It doesn't have to be the, you know, patterned triangles. I'm going to fix these with the liquid clay and then I'll put some perfect pearls on them. Right, I have had a go at those now. I put on my triangles using liquid clay to adhere them and just got the top of my finger onto the perfect pearls and then rubbed it on to the triangles like that, so you can see it's skimmed over. And I used a brush to do the knob because that's a little bit difficult to get my hand to. So here are the two halves of the dish and they are ready to go back into the oven. This time I will do a full bake at the manufacturer's recommended temperature. When I stop messing these up, oops. And then I will bring it back and show you what the final dish looks like. I'm back from the oven and here are our pieces. I cooked them over the bath bomb mould to help them to keep their shape because we want them to fit together. Will they fit together? Oh, of course they will. They look fantastic and look at that. Doesn't even come off or anything. There is the finished dish. I think it looks really cute and pretty. The bottom is ace. I love that design. The top is worked out really well. The only thing I would say is that I hurried this and I didn't really press down these triangles enough with the liquid clay on and stuff, so they've just lifted a tiny bit, so look out for that. But yeah, there it is. There's the bath bomb mould lidded dish, and if you want to know what it's going to look like in 100 years time, there it is. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like, subscribe, leave your comments and questions down below. You can follow Unruly Housewife on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm going to tell you something now. This is the first anniversary of my first ever post on this YouTube channel. That was my introduction to my channel. So, well, I've done reasonably well, I think. Some people have got more followers than me, but hey. If anybody is watching this who has supported me from the beginning, thank you very much. Anyone who's jumped on board since, I'm just thrilled to have anybody watching at all. And as ever, I'm going to say it, I do love you all. Bye.